Hello and welcome to episode 47, the Alexander Radulov episode. I know you like that one,
Love it.
TJ.
I love it. That's a
The
chef's kiss for
Radulov
me, man. That is
episode.
amazing. Amazing. Good shout out.
Yeah, thanks. Of the 214 Sports Show, your home for everything DFW Sports, episode 47. So glad you could join us once again for another episode. My name is Joseph Duffy. I'm joined alongside our co-host in Courtney Machani's absence this week, but also joining once again is TJ Krillowitz, who will be heading to vacation very shortly. TJ, how you doing?
Doing great, man. Just going back to Austin. Just want to take, like a little zen break, Just go appreciate life. Been working a lot recently, so just yeah. How are you doing, Joseph?
Doing all right. The job is killing me, but
Mm-hmm.
we are still making it around and getting some bread in the pockets
Yep,
and trying
yep.
to, pay for college. But
And yeah. Yeah, what's this video's up? Well, actually no. This is the last video before we're officially SEC media members.
crazy, yeah, big news for the 214 Sports Show that we have been selected to cover the SEC Media Days next week for our campus club group that we call
Mhm.
TSTV Sports. If y'all don't know, we do go to the University of Texas at Austin, and we attend a sports broadcast program, as TJ's pointing back there, pointing to the Texas thing. I don't know if you can see it, but we are in a sports broadcast group where we cover sports in the campus, football, basketball, and baseball, and sometimes a little bit of the club sports too, and the club baseball team and club lacrosse. But we cover for the group, and now we've been selected to cover for SEC media teams Monday through Thursday next week at the Omni Hotel in Dallas. Should be pretty fun.
Nice. I know.
Great,
I've
great
never been
opportunity.
inside the Omni Hotel. I'm actually excited.
I never have either, but this should be fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be
Should
different
be.
from what the Big 12 media days look like. I think they do it usually in like Cowboy Stadium, right?
Yeah, they did. And I don't know. I guess it was an Allegiant Stadium this year for Big 12 because they're in Vegas.
Yeah,
But
I moved to Houston or Allegiant.
yeah. I
So
mean,
my
majority
bad.
of teams.
Allegiant is Vegas,
Yeah,
right? Never mind.
yeah.
But
It's Vegas. NRG would be Houston. Um, But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's. I guess SEC has always not been on a field. They've usually historically placed it in like Birmingham, I think, right? I
yeah,
think that's where it's
I
usually
thought
been.
they did.
So I don't know why they put it in Dallas. Maybe it's just Texas OU, but I'm excited. First year in Dallas. So
Yeah, recent news with the Dallas Mavericks. We're gonna start with in the ESPY Awards. Surprise, surprise, Luka Doncic won the ESPY for the NBA Player of the Year in 2024. Interesting how that turned out, considering that he did not get more first place NBA MVP votes.
over Jason
But
Tatum too, by the way. So just want to point that out.
yeah, over the Celtic champion Jason Tatum, also more votes than Nikola
I
Jokic.
didn't have to say that, man. Come on,
It's kind of
champion.
crazy. Crazy how that works, huh?
Yeah.
Team USA looking all right in their exhibition game that they played in Vegas, celebrating and commemorating the old Team USA teams also on the same night. A lot of famous people showing up, and this could be the last hurrah for some of these great basketball players that we grew up watching. LeBron, Curry teaming up, Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, a lot of great legends in the game right now playing, and they're in Vegas. But Dwight Powell, Dallas Maverick playing for Team
Put
Canada.
Embiid in jail, man.
Now
That
he locked
is
him up. You put that boy in Alcatraz, man. Look at Dwight Powell over there. Had him locked up. That was pretty interesting to watch.
yeah.
Considering
And of
that, I
course, he
thought
gets his hit. I cannot understand how many times the White Powell has been hit in the face and why it happens so many times. That dude is just a magnet for just like
for
cheap shots to the face.
yeah,
I would say that was pretty intentional by Embiid, though.
it's like Josh Smith in the box, bro. You just get
Yeah.
hit sometimes. It's crazy. But Dwight Powell, he was holding his own. I don't think a lot of people. Well, I think a lot of people are shocked by like how well some of these guys play during Olympic time. The rules are different,
Yeah,
first of
it's
all.
completely different, and it's a completely different system. Completely different. It's completely different. But I mean, Dwight Powell is still a serviceable NBA player. He just hasn't been. Uh, I don't know. I just think that Canada's a good team, man. That's all I'm gonna say about it. That's all I'll say. I don't want to get too far into Dwight Powell. We've talked enough about Dwight Powell.
I was really surprised that Zach Edey wasn't, on the team at all. I thought he was going to eventually get some play as a rookie, but I guess they want to focus more on his summer league, which I can understand. He can't really be a rook. He can't be like an Olympian, and at the
Yeah,
pick he was selected, maybe. I guess
he's been doing decent in summer league, right? I haven't been keeping up.
he had a
Or
decent
have
first game.
Yeah, he had a decent first game, which is good, man. I know a lot of people didn't expect him to go that high, and I didn't expect him to go that high either. I believe it's pick number 9. Um, but I mean, he could be a good player, anytime with height, you know, as long as you can put some skill set, if he could get some better footwork, I mean, I think he's a serviceable player. And Memphis needed a big man, so.
Yeah, the Ja and Edey connection, that's going to be interesting to watch with Ja Morant's return next year. But starting off with some Dallas Mavericks news, as said, Luka Doncic won the 2024 NBA Player of the Year award at the ESPYs. Klay Thompson, Najee Marshall, and Quentin Grimes were formally introduced finally in the press conference a few days ago. I don't know if you saw the picture of Najee Marshall holding the
Najee
jersey.
Marshall.
Looks
Yeah,
like, looked like he was
he's
holding
just
the jersey
excited,
super
man.
tight, bro. He was happy to
He's
be there, bro.
excited.
There's a meme of the guy holding the sandwich with like his thumb like pressing to the middle of like the bread. You
Yeah.
understand? But now that the trade is official and the signing trades are official, I mean, do you have any more thoughts to add about these acquisitions for the Dallas Mavericks and how they can impact this team at all?
Well, I'll say this: I really liked Klay Thompson's press conference because I'll say I've started to. I used to see Klay Thompson as my favorite Warrior. Like the only likable Golden State Warrior on the team. That's how I saw him for years, and it kind of changed over the last few years with Golden State. I started to dislike him a lot more. He decided to become my least favorite Golden State Warrior almost, and how he would like the Rodney McCruder clip, where he's on the broadcast and he's like, that guy's never gonna play, or whatever
That
he
was
said,
crazy.
all this stuff. Like, he just started to become a little too cocky for me. He started becoming a little, I thought he was the chill guy. I thought he used to be the chill guy, and then all of a sudden he's becoming this aggressive player, aggressive character. But I really liked how he handled himself in the press conference. I really like how he has handled himself. He gave a proper thank you to Golden State on Instagram and has posted a lot, about the Mavericks since. And really, really just I really believe that he can actually have a revival year, and it's not even really a revival year. He's still a really good player. Again, we mentioned that he was second in the league in catch and shoot percentages. He was averaging 17 points per game. He's still scoring, and he's still going to be a better option than what Tim Hardaway Jr. was. But I think the main secret weapon, I think Quinn Grimes could be some serious help for this team. I'm really hoping, as long as Klay Thompson gets the headlines, Quinn Grimes works in the shadows. I think he could be a really, really good player for us this year. And again, this is kind of like comparing him to a better Josh Green, in my opinion. Now, I don't know. I didn't see him a lot last year. He didn't play a lot last year. I don't know what happened to him last year, but the year before, he was a lockdown perimeter defender and was a consistent, really good 3-point shooter for the Knicks squad that they needed badly. And so I'm just surprised that after his second year in the league, he struggled that badly with New York and Detroit last year. But it was a small sample size with Detroit. I'm really excited to see him play for the Mavericks. The Mavericks have a kind of good track record of getting these players that have kind of been forgotten a little bit and boosting them up a little bit. My main person that I think of is Dante Exum, Derek Jones Jr. from last year. These players that were kind of just forgotten free agents. Dante Exum not even being in the league for 3-4 years, and we made them serviceable NBA rotational players. I think this could be the same deal with Quinn Grimes. So
Yeah, well said. I mean, Klay Thompson, he had a memorable quote that he said at the press conference about joining the Mavericks, and he said, "quote unquote," still can't leave me open. So he's still got a little bit of that flair left, if you want to call it likable or not. But it is what it is. He knows his talent. He knows what he can do on the court. Still, even at 30 plus years old, and when he joins his team, they're going to get some great play from Luka and Kyrie. Great guard play. You just got to be in the corner and just hold yourself accountable to knock down that open three. And I think
right,
that's why it'll be Quentin Grimes' time to shine as well as a young player. And I think he'll be a better 3-point shooter than even he was 2 years ago, being that he has more wide open opportunities and also better guard play with the Dallas Mavericks. But Najee Marshall, I said something like 2 weeks ago. I was like, I'm debating if who's going to be the starter. I think that's kind of silly now. I think Clay has to be the starter at this point. I mean,
yeah, Clay's the
I
starter.
yeah, I mean, at the point when you watch the press conference, there's no way they signed Klay Thompson to come off the bench as the sixth man.
It-
It was kind of a silly
yeah,
thing I
it's the
said.
money, it's the money. You gotta you paying him that much, you might as well start him. It was a different situation with Tim Hardaway Jr., but I mean, we
Yeah,
just signed Klay Thompson. We have to start him if we're paying him that money.
yeah. I
And
mean, the pitch was probably a starting position too, even in like the
yeah, it
interview and stuff.
does bring up a little bit like how's our offense going to do coming off the bench? Is our bench going to be good, good scoring for us next year? It's a good question to ask. I don't know. I don't know. And again, I'm still banking. I'll say this every week. I'm still banking that Jaden Hardy finally gets a chance next season, and he could become that playmaker and that scorer off the bench that we need so desperately. Um, but it is a good question to ask about the bench. Um, you're gonna have uh, you're gonna have what Lively, PJ Washington, Thompson, Irving, and Luca starting. And so, really, the highest scorer coming off that bench right now for us would probably be like, oh man, like, would you say Dante Exum? Would you say Daniel
Dante,
Gafford? I mean,
oh
seriously,
man,
that's probably the highest scoring points per game player that we have off the bench right now. So
I mean, it's a tough one.
I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a
Yeah, I
tough
didn't.
one. But I will
I don't
say
want.
that
I
you're
don't.
talking about Quinn Grimes being young. Sorry, you're cutting off. You're cutting off. Sorry.
We're
Hmm.
lagging. Go ahead. We're both
Yeah, we're
lagging. Go
lagging.
ahead.
Okay. I was just saying, yeah, we have Quinn Grimes, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, all these players that the Mavericks have traded for recently and have not given up much. The most of it all has been first round picks, which we've known in history that the Mavericks are not a team that care about first round picks. They love to trade them away, but um, you're getting all these players that are so young, players that we don't have to sign for a couple years now too, that we have locked up. Well, locked up's probably a bad word to use for that. They're having fun on Dallas. They're not. It's not like we're keeping them hostage or anything. But we got them under contract for years. And they're young and they're going to improve. I still think PJ Washington and Gafford still have a lot to work on. And I think that, our coaches here, especially Tyson Chandler with Daniel Gafford, can make him just bring him to another level. You can see how well it's worked with Derek Lively. I believe Derek Lively looks a lot like Tyson Chandler in ways. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this offseason development goes because we're a young team. We're a young team, but we're still experienced, which is crazy. I think this team is a really, really good setup. I gotta give props to Nico here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Oh
once
man.
again,
Oh man, he's
it's a
frozen.
mix of savvy, veteran presence, but also a young team. Sorry, I think our connection is a little bit off again. TJ, I'm trying to reconnect. It looks like. Hold on. Let me see. I'm gonna wait till I can finally see you moving again. We're frozen. Yeah, it looks like he kind of exited. Hold on. We'll get him right back in a few more minutes. But yeah, very savvy young team.
Had to. I don't know what was going on there. All right. We doing Pirtle?
Yeah. Well, what do you want to do? What name?
Okay. Well, I say we do Dylan Brooks to start off, just because.
Holy. We're starting with the Canadian Dylan Brooks.
A little villain, yeah. Little villain character. Ooh. So Southwest, this could very, very much be a Dallas Mavericks player, and I think we should knock it down right now and say that this is. Wait. This is not a Mavericks player. Yeah, it can't be a Mavericks player. There's nobody wearing 10 right now for us, right? That's somebody else. That's tough.
Is it a Spur?
It could be a Spur. It's so tough to do Pirtle right now because you don't know if they've got like updated stuff.
Oh, this is tough.
Do we want to go Najee Marshall?
Yeah.
Just real quick.
I think that's him, yeah. Oh, never mind.
Okay, so they do have him on Dallas. I just wanted to make sure.
He's a forward, so it's not Dallas. I think it's San Antonio.
Could be San Antonio, could be Memphis.
Is Tyus Jones still on San Antonio?
No, I don't think so, but he's not. It would be a guard.
You're right. We need a forward.
What about like Keldon Johnson?
Keldon.
He's on San Antonio still, right? Oh, he's short. Oh, I didn't know he was that short. I thought he was like 6'8".
He's a Barkley.
He's young player.
He's nasty in fantasy.
On the Spurs, so I bet he's a defensive machine. Okay, so do we want to say like Jeremy Sochan?
Yeah, let's do Sochan.
I mean, super young, and he was 10, right? This is definitely Jeremy Sochan. Yeah.
There we go.
He is.
Mr. Rodman.
All right, not bad.
Talking that trash to LeBron. I remember that a few years ago. That was crazy. I mean, some guys, I get like you want to hold your own. You're not supposed to just bow down to people, but that was crazy.
Well, I'll never forget going to Spurs Mavs game 1 of last season, and
what an experience!
All the Spurs fans that were telling me that Jeremy Sochan was going to put Luka in jail, and Luka goes out and puts a 30-point triple-double.
You get to say you were at Victor Wembanyama's first game. You get to say that forever.
Saw his first points. Points.
That's awesome.
You know, and I hope he could stay. You know, as much as it is to suck to have the Spurs have a generational superstar on their team, I hope he stays healthy because, man, history shows that his track record shows it's not. It's pretty hard to stay healthy with that kind of size and frame. Yeah, so I mean, I'm hoping for the best for him though. He seems like a cool dude.
All right, so moving on to the World Series champion Texas Rangers, doing much better overall as a team, sitting at 5 games behind 500. I guess the bar is a little bit low this year. 44-49, about to start a big time series. By the time this episode is posted on Saturday, already game 1 will be concluded of this huge series against the Houston Astros now in Houston. Last time they were in Houston, we were there, TJ, for this series along with Courtney, and it did not go our way on that Saturday afternoon. But this time around, the Rangers trying to rebound, and Houston, who has had their number the past few games, taking the series last time, and Houston taking both series actually this year, I believe. Actually, splitting the first one, winning the second one, so they lead the Lone Star Series this season. This series is it's massive, man. So Rangers won the past 2 series after having that bad downfall against San Diego 2 series ago. They've now won and swept the Tampa Bay Rays, then just beat the Anaheim Angels in Angels Stadium. Should have really been a sweep, but did not have the start that Michael Lorenzen was looking for. So we had to have a little discussion about what his role is going to be in the next few games as guys get healthier in the starting rotation. Is he still going to be a prominent starter in this rotation? Is he going to move to the bullpen? Is he going to pitch at all? Because it didn't look like he was throwing a lot of strikes. And it didn't look like, he was finding his way in the strike zone. So I'm interested to see what Michael Lorenzen's future is going to be with this team. because he had a really good start, and you can say he had a little bit of unlucky play at times. He's given up some home runs recently. But what do you look for in this final series for the All-Star break for the Rangers going against a team like Houston? Is this a must-win series?
I would say absolutely. I would say absolutely. You got to win at least two of this three. And what I'm really looking for is just, Seager's kind of starting to find his stride. Simeon's kind of starting to find his stride a little bit. All these players, they've in the last two series, Jonah Heim's been playing better. Wyatt Langford's starting to really become a really good hitter in the box. And so there's only one player left, really, that needs to step up, and that's Garcia. And this is where he really made his name. People knew Adolis Garcia before the ALCS last year, but that's when people knew him. That's when people found out about him, really. And so, I mean, going back to that series, obviously, I could just talk about that series all day long. But Adolis Garcia, he really stepped up, and he was playing good beforehand in Tampa Bay and Baltimore, but he just turned it to another level against Houston, and he's played good against Houston so far this year. Obviously, he's been batting he's probably around 210 now at this point. His
Yeah,
power's not been there as usual. I think last year he hit like 47 home runs, including postseason. He's only at 16 right now, and he's over halfway. But this is where he needs to get his swing back, and hopefully he can. Hopefully, the momentum and the boost that he'll hear can help him kind of get into the right mindset and start hitting well in the box. Maybe have maybe even if it's just not a home run, maybe if it's just a 2 for 3 night with a single and an RBI or something like that. That's what we need from him. We need that from him, and we've been missing that all year. So I'm really hoping that's the difference in Houston this weekend.
yeah. A noted Astros killer is Adolis Garcia. Seems like he's been thriving. Just each of these last few games that he's gone against them was doing well, even in the series that we were getting, beat up in
Mm-hmm.
towards the end in Houston last time. But yeah, he has got to wake up. Tavares is waking up.
Yeah, that's
Seager is
true.
waking
Another
up.
name.
Josh Smith, what a season he's had. He's done it again,
Yep.
working a lot of walks. Marcus Simeon doing a lot better than he was last week. And, you
Yep.
know, look, Jonah Heim, Andrew Kisner, I talked about him a little bit last week, but Jonah Heim's valuability is just, it's been showing itself more this past few weeks. And you're seeing how impactful he is behind the plate with a beat up rotation. And he's been a very good addition once again this season.
Mm-hmm.
But just was not the series ender that you were looking for. Like I said, I thought it should have been a sweep in Anaheim, but 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position on Thursday.
Story of the season.
Great. That was a typical Rangers game this season. If we're being honest,
Yep.
if you
Yeah.
watch that game, a chance to get rid of uh, or start building more of this streak. You're riding a 5-game win streak, tied for the longest, actually the longest in the season at the time. Could have been a 6-game win streak, but from the start, it just was not the game. Lorenzen giving up a quick 4 spot, and then nobody can knock in the runs from scoring position. Leody Taveras almost brought us back in the game, but with bases loaded, with guys at second and third, guys striking out, grounding out, and flying out. That's all it took
And
really
Langford
for,
and Garcia too. Those
yeah,
back-to-back strikeouts
good,
twice.
good spots, too. I mean, Langford was right there. You hate to see that for the rookie, but sometimes it happens that way.
Yeah.
And Garcia, I was really disappointed in him, popping up after that pitching change. I won't understand how, in the pitching change that you just don't even give, one take or just, a few just to see what the guy looks like. I don't know what swinging away is supposed to do for um, the team unless you just, saw the perfect pitch. But when you're a guy like him this season, he was hitting 215, hitting sub 500 slugging, sub 420 slugging, really. I mean, just not his season overall, dropping to fifth in the order. I mean, you got to find a way, work the count still. And he was working his way back into becoming a more patient hitter towards the end of last season, but we're not seeing that same guy this season. So I really hope they can figure it out this series because they need Garcia more than ever. Looking at the starters tonight, it looks like it's going to be, let's see, I think Andrew Heaney against Hunter Brown.
Yeah.
Hunter Brown's first start against the Rangers last year, he was a strikeout machine. He had his way with us last year, but come postseason time, come towards the end of the year, they've had their way with him and JP France. JP France is going to be out for the rest of the season for Houston, but Hunter Brown, 6-6 this year. He started off, I believe, 0-6. He's finding his way really in this season. 4.48 ERA and 100 Ks this season compared to 36 walks. Andrew Heaney, man, he has been done dirty this season. He's actually pitching way better than it really looks like in the win-loss record. 3 wins, 9 losses, 3.80 ERA, 90 innings pitched. He has not been getting help align the run support. So I hope that maybe that can change by the time this episode is posted. And then for the Saturday games, let's look at that real quick if I can find that.
That would be. Let me guess. So I know Aragod, whatever the really pitcher that's been struggling really badly for Houston starting on Saturday. But who's starting for Texas? Let me see. Let me think.
Evaldi.
Oh, come on, man. I was gonna guess, man. I was lost though. For some reason, I could not figure out the rotation.
Yeah. So, as it stands, it looks like we don't have like a favorite pitcher for the Sunday matchup, which is not a sign you want to see in the final game before the All-Star break. But Heaney and Evaldi, not a bad combo to start off the series in Houston. Hopefully Heaney can find the strike zone tonight. Last time we saw him, it was looking like he couldn't really last 5 innings. He typically does not go more than 6 1/3.
I'm telling you, that Astros offense was just insane whenever we went to the game against Heaney. I don't understand how they were so good, but they were really, really good that game. And, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get too far in the Andrew Heaney, though. I'll let you talk again. Because, I mean, the game's already going to happen by the time we upload this, and I don't want to be like, he's not going to last 4 innings.
For this team,
you could have a no-hitter.
Oh, man. Well, that's a pitch. But anyways, if we want to talk about how crucial this series is, asking that question I asked you, I mean, this is must win if you want to stay in the division hunt, but also the wild card hunt. Right. This bullpen has to show up. The middle relief has to show up. I trust the starters can do their job for the majority of the series. Anything can happen with the starting rotation in a division matchup. So I don't want to act like they're just, invincible, but the middle relief has been, the biggest struggle against the Astros this season. We saw it again in person, literally what was it, 2 months ago now?
3 months. It's legit been 3 months.
Wow.
It was April 13th.
That kind of flew by. But wow, I mean, just, you need the middle relief to pull up. And if they don't pull up, you can already count this series, over. There's no way they win because you need a guy like Jose Urena to step up. You need Jacob Last to step up. Guys like those, who weren't really stepping up in the Milwaukee and Baltimore series. That's the reason why we were getting pretty much swept in those series and at least lost the majority of them. Got to have them step up. And then also guys taking advantage of the runners in scoring position. And we saw that typical loss from the Rangers this season many times over and saw it again against Anaheim to finish that series a few days ago. You have to knock in the runners in scoring position. You have to take advantage of those opportunities because you never know when they come again, especially when you're at the bottom of the order. The top of the order has to take advantage. Can't have many more empty opportunities where you're coming up empty-handed. So, big-time series for the Rangers visiting the Houston Astros in Minute Maid Park.
And then Arlington All-Star break.
And then the Arlington All-Star break. Only 2 All-Stars, I believe, for the Rangers this year, right? Marcus Semien upgraded to a starter as Jose Altuve, who actually got more votes than him, who was the starter. Had a hand issue. He's going to take more time to recover, so he will not. Yeah, he's not gonna play in the All-Star game.
I think he's dodged every All-Star event since the cheating scandal.
Oh,
I think he has. He doesn't want to get the booze on the national level. I think that's and he knows it would be really bad in Arlington this year.
Man.
I don't know if that's the case, but I'm just saying. He's
Oh.
dodged a lot of All-Star games recently.
Come outside, Altuve. Come outside.
Come on, man. Come on. It's just an All-Star game. We're not that bad. Come on. It's for the kids,
Yeah,
you know.
for the
Come
kids,
on.
man. We're good people.
It's for the kids.
And, you know, Adolis Garcia also news that he's joined the home run derby. Listen, I don't really watch the home run derby anymore. It kind of puts me to sleep. But I'm gonna root for him on watch just because of Adolis Garcia.
Well, you know, the Rangers have always, you know, ever since Josh Hamilton had one of the greatest home run derby performances of all time, it's just been nothing for the Rangers. And it sucks because, you know, I think we had back-to-back years of Seager. I think we had Garcia last year, and then we've also had Gallo. I think every single time that they've played, I think in the first round, they've played against the player that had the most home runs in the first round or something like that. I mean, I think Seager went up against Julio Rodriguez, who just had a historical home run derby that time around. I forgot who Garcia played last year, but he just dominated too. And Gallo was the same issue too. Gallo was playing somebody from the Rockies in Colorado. I forgot who it was, but I remember there's some sketchy stuff. I remember he was like one home run away, and there's like a couple seconds left, and they're like, no, it's time.
And hopefully, I don't know if Tony Beasley's going to throw anymore, but I don't know if you remember what it was like when he was throwing to El Bombi in Seattle, but he could not give El Bombi a strike. I mean, Tony Beasley just couldn't even throw it down the plate. I hope he can maybe at least find the plate a little bit better and help El Bombi out, or unless there's a different pitcher for Adolis this time around.
I mean, what's stopping them from actually just using a pitcher? You know, what are the rules of who can throw to the hitters in the home run derby? Like, what are the rules? Like, why can't he just bring out like, I don't know, like why can't he just bring out like Brian Abreu? You know, Brian Abreu would just throw at him.
That'd be crazy. They made like just a random pact. Like, just let the hatchet, just bury the hatchet, bro, and just.
Like, oh my God! Look at this! It's Brian Abreu coming out of center field.
He makes the point towards like the bullpen, like he's a manager, bro. Brian Abreu
like
comes running out.
Diaz music's playing too. It's like, oh my God! Oh my!
Is that Brian Abreu? What's he doing here? Well, that'll do it for episode 47, the Alexander Radulov episode. Made it through the technical difficulties. Do want to remind you that this episode will be posted on YouTube and Spotify in full, where you can watch it. Watch it all whenever you want to at your own leisure. You can follow at 214 Sports Show on YouTube and Spotify. And also you can follow our X accounts, also our Instagram accounts as well. And on TikTok, we post Reels. And also YouTube Shorts, too, in that same YouTube profile, at 214 Sports Show on X, Instagram, and TikTok as well. TJ, you want to drop your socials real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, follow me at tj.krylowitz on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram at tj_. Oh, you know what? I got them switched. Instagram is tj.krylowitz. Twitter/X is tj_Krylowitz.
All right, you want to drop your NFF stuff too, because I know you've been working really hard. And you don't want to.
That's not Dallas sports. Come on. But
all right.
Follow me at NFF Network on Twitter and Instagram. Been making a lot of highlights, graphics for the 2024 College Football Hall of Fame class, and it's been a lot of fun and been a blast. Been a lot of just been a lot of fun. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, Thomas James Krylowitz been working really hard with the unpaid internship. He's doing a really scholarship. My bad.
If you're gonna put that in the video, if it's unpaid, just mention that I got a scholarship.
My bad. That's on me. The scholarship with NFF. What an opportunity! Been getting a lot of interactions with the posts that he puts in his stories. Working hard. I believe you do it in Richardson or something like that. Richardson.
I'm in Irving. Las Colinas.
Yeah, Irving.
Yep,
Las Colinas. I believe that's where they used to play the. I forgot what they used to play. The Byron Nelson or something like that. The golf tournament.
It was right where the Byron Nelson was. Yep.
Yeah.
It was in Las Colinas.
Great opportunity there.
Now in the the great city of McKinney.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Joseph_Duffy99. Again, at Joseph_Duffy99. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. I really use Twitter predominantly if you want to see that, but I've even been slacking on that. I should be doing more tweets. But that'll do it really for the episode. Again, follow at 214 Sports Show. We'll post the whole episode on YouTube and Spotify. This was episode 47 of the 214 Sports Show with Joseph Duffy and TJ Krolowitz. Hope you're doing well, Courtney. He'll be back, I believe, next week. Have a good rest of your day.